Alright everyone, I'm still getting my Dominion save files back in order, so we are back with Phoenix Point tonight, and exactly where we left off. Thanks for the response to the first video. I did some thinking about it, and I've decided it's not worth trashing our diplomacy with Anu just yet, stealing what is, probably the most useless aircraft in the game. Tiamat doesn't really have a long service life. They're too slow practically to be used for manned missions, so you end up just using them occupying resources. And, if I get to the point where I've got spare relationship points with Anu, it's something I would consider stealing, especially since they're so easy to steal. But it's not a priority at a time where I could be getting actual resources that I'm going to use, not an extra, surplus asset that I'm not going to be able to use for a while. Because you can see my soldiers are starting to get tired. They've probably only got a couple of missions left in them before we go. So I'm going to leave the aircraft for now. Don't worry, we'll come back and raid later, and I'll explain the benefits and the negatives of doing raids when we get to that point. I'm going to, for now, continue just exploring. We'll come back when something comes up, and when we go into our first tactical mission, I'll have a little bit of a talk about some early level up priorities for classes, because I think a few of our people have been promoted last time around. So I'm going to explore, see if anything interesting happens, and we'll come back shortly. And here is an example of why I think the priority is getting more units up as soon as possible. We've just explored a location, random location. We gained 410 materials, 95 tech, and 125 food. Amazing, huge gain in resources early on. The food is useful to an extent, but it's really those materials and tech are vital for getting your economy set early on. So, exploration is good. This is proof of that. Why do I need another team? Why can't I just steal that Tiamat aircraft and go around scouting? Well, because if your aircraft doesn't have any troops on board and you get ambushed, which is an option when you're exploring this site, bow, you're out of luck. You need troops to survive ambushes. You need sufficiently large teams to survive ambushes. So you need at least enough resources to be able to do that. So you need actual teams. They don't need to be as good as your A team, which is the one that's going to be going in, hitting bases and story missions, but you need something. So this is why I prioritize getting another team going as soon as possible, one that can survive the ambushes at whatever level of the game you're at. I'm going to keep exploring, moving on. We'll be back shortly. Okay, I completed some tech, so quick jump in for early tech priorities. There's a couple of different paths you can take in your early tech. These faction recruitments all have bonus resources, and they unlock parts of those faction chains further down the line. Haven recruitment protocols is a good early one, as is trade protocols, because they unlock the ability to get soldiers and resources out of those factions. Very handy. And finally, there's the main story researchers. These are actually really important because they're how you're going to get to the legacy of the ancient research, which we'll talk about in the mid game, which is what you really want, because that's what lets you win missions hard. So I normally grab Haven recruitment protocols because I value troops so much, even though troops are expensive. It's only a 13-hour diversion, even with one research lab on this difficulty, and then we're going to pick up probably Phoenix Archives, go down, start doing some story missions. But unlocking those story missions when I'm still clearing my initial area and picking up all those easy wins and resources, probably not mega essential. But at the same time, I'm not being lured by wasting 2 days or 3 days or whatever picking up these researchers now. I can get them later. For now, I want to be able to get more soldiers, so Haven recruitment protocols is the game, while I explore to get the resources to actually buy those bloody soldiers. Anyway, let's keep exploring Turkey and see what we can find. I'm finding Anu and New Jericho so far. I'd really like to find some Sinedrian and pick up another bonus starting mission, even if the Sinedrian one is arguably the most difficult. But yeah, I'll come back when we see what pops up. I've also found my first mist location down here. I would favor always exploring locations that are going to be taken over by mist first, so you don't have to risk exploring them when they're covered by mist. The mist will slowly expand. And then go back and hit the ones that aren't going to be covered by mist later, because you can always explore them when they're safer. There's no real gain to making the mission harder than it needs to be, so I would explore these sooner rather than later. Alright, back soon. Okay, we found a mission, and the mission is fantastic. We are doing this mission, and we are doing it now. The Rescue Soldiers mission. It's a new mission type, wasn't in the game at launch. What's going to happen when we launch this is there will be a group of independent soldiers that will be under attack by Pandorans. And if you can rescue them and extract them, you get to keep them. which is incredible, which is fantastic, because it adds a lot of soldiers to your roster straight off. We'll talk about the weaknesses of those soldiers, sure, but it gets more bodies in your roster at a point in the game where you probably don't have the ability to hire a huge number of them. So we're absolutely going to do this mission. We're going to dive in. So we've got our renamed Heavy ready to go still with the tier cannon. The one thing that will change is if you ever build equipment, you wonder why you can't see it on a soldier, make sure you have all the classes selected here, because by default it's filtered just to their base class. I've turned them all on, which means I can now do this, which has dramatically improved the accuracy. This is a -3 accuracy build. Before it was -15. So we should be a little more accurate with this cannon. The one weakness is now we're a little more vulnerable to being shot in the head, but you know, shit happens. We can give this person a little more willpower if we want, but that's not really a huge bonus right now. But it will be useful when we get up to Boom Blast builds later. So the question is, how much do you want to invest in speed to get your heavies moving early on? Strength is also useful given how heavy their kit is. I'm probably just going to take the willpower. And can we carry a med kit? Yeah, we can carry a med kit. So we'll have one spare magazine, a med kit, and the cannon. Works for me. Assault, ready to go. Dash, always dash. Now, dash means you need willpower and speed, because how far you dash depends on your speed, and how many times you can dash depends on your willpower. So I'm going to get one more chunk of speed, one more chunk of willpower. We're good to go. Return fire will be a good pickup when we go to the next one. Don't quite need more strength yet, because we're working just fine with this at the moment. I would even... Oh, do I want the reload or do I want the grenade? So having it on your belt means that you don't have to pay an action to use it. I do want the med kit there, because when you want med kits, you want them in a hurry, you want them now. I think I would rather have the reload. No, I want the grenade. I want the grenade. No getting away from it. And then General Confusion, who I have named in honor of the great man himself, is good because he's got Biochemist, he's got Strongman, he's got Dash. Now, of these, a lot of these are really good. For one, he's now a better heavy than a heavy, because he would be a plus 20% accuracy, which is huge. You get 2 free strength points, which is worth... even right now, A plus 9, it's worth 17 SP worth of strength. You lose perception. Now, what does perception mean? Perception governs your Overwatch distance. So what this is basically saying is, this soldier will be useless for Overwatch, but they gain the ability to shoot heavy weapons at plus 20% accuracy, and they gain plus 2 strength. Really worth considering. But we don't have a spare heavy weapon for him. Right now, we're not in a position to fully leverage this. So let's grab Dash and let's grab Biochemist. So what this now does is that every bullet of that assault rifle, or every pellet of the shotgun, once we eventually get it, will do 1 viral damage. And I'll explain that when I shoot at people. But viral damage is very, very good, especially against tougher foes. It can be a real boon to how you deal with people. And Dash is just generally bloody good. Not as OP as it was when the game first came out, because it's now limited to 2 per turn. It used to be able to do it infinite times, and it was broken as heck, but it was the only way to beat the game because it was really crushing at launch. And then we can't afford Biochemist on our sniper, and snipers don't really need Biochemist anyway. If you're sniper dual classes, sure, but right now with 1 round, absolutely not worth it for 25 investment. We can get heaps of willpower for that, which you'll use with quick aim. So, 4-person squad, recovering troops, off we go. Okay, so here we are on the map. We've spawned in the bottom left-hand corner. We can already see 1 Pandoran. It's of the Arthron type, and it's the melee Arthron. So let's have a quick look. Only attacks the Pincer. And we got to assume that this early in the game, most Arthrons will be pincer only. Machine guns will appear very soon, which means we're using that doctrine of keeping our sightlines open and eliminating them using firepower and not letting them get too close. At the same time, we can't camp this mission, because somewhere in the middle here, probably here, here or in the structure, but I'm guessing around here, the independent soldiers will be concentrated. There'll be 3 of them. and they will be being attacked by enough Arthrons that will kill them if we don't move real quick. So we have to get to there, get in range of them, they become ours, and then we have to evac. I'm just searching for the evac point now. Where the evac point's top right-hand corner. So our movement path is going to be sweep through the center. Don't go into the building because buildings get you killed when there are melee opponents. We want open sight lines, and then we move to the evac point. So the question is, how do we eliminate this first guy while sort of maintaining movement? Let me do some quick thinking, and then we'll deploy. But I'm guessing what's going to want to happen is I'm going to want to get whoever is furthest to the back, so GC here, is going to want to be dashing forward to be moving, and it'll be the forward units that engage. And in so doing, that'll group all of our soldiers together. Ideally, if the sniper can be free, the sniper can forward position and then influence combats that are happening in the middle of the map. So let me do some positioning, and we'll jump. Alright, so Phoenix Point has a decent terrain destruction model, so I figured I'm going to open with this heavy attack on the Arthron, and hopefully if the round misses, what's going to happen is it'll knock down that wall, and there's a chance a follow-up round will hit. An advantage of the new tier cannon over the old hell. Okay, so we only got one hit, which means we've disabled the head, which means we really need to land some more shots. And we've got a Triton spotted. Okay, so Tritons can stealth, but not close enough to be an immediate threat to us. Assault rifle should do the job here. Done.
What a kill.
Okay, and every target we take off the map is one that will not threaten those guys. How much will's this guy got? 20. Good to know for our biochemist. We're going to rush forward. Your soldiers are not very fast at the start of the game. There we are. Okay, we've got eyes on a Triton. Nowhere near us, but let's have a look at that shot. That's possible. Let me think about that versus moving up for a second. Well, that was worth it. That was absolutely worth it. So we've got alerted, minus 10 will, disabled, so it's maxed out at 8 will. It's bleeding. Now it's got regen 10, so all that's going to do is cancel a regen. But it might give the independent soldiers a slightly better chance to fight it. Anyway. Okay, there's one independent. So we need to get close. One's on the roof and has disabled the torso. Very nice. And one's there. Great. Great, great, great. So we can change our plan. Sweep through the center of the map. This one looks like it's going to be bashed to death though. And that was the heavy. Yeah, the heavy's being bashed. Heavy's dead from the sound effects. Okay, so we're down to 2 soldiers, unfortunately. We need to get in there, but to be honest, the heavy was the least valuable recruit anyway, because they cost by far the most to equip. But I really want this sniper. I really want this sniper. So, and there'll be aliens, a whole cluster of Pandorans here. Friendly, friendly. Is it worth using a dash to get Overwatch down? First of all, let's work with the ones that are further at the back. The sniper can deal with that Triton, I'm pretty sure.
Here comes the Phoenix.
Done. Okay, so that we don't have to worry about that in our back line anymore. What next? What next?
I'm ready.
I actually think we get real aggressive here and try and get a turn using the sniper. Let's see if this works. It'll come down to how much movement we have on foot. Not quite enough, but this is a good position for subsequent turns. Because it gets a spot on. What have we got? Pincer Arthron. Fine. Fine, 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 fine. Let's get one. Let's go. Let's dash once.
For the wicked.
And then, ooh. No, I think movement rather than Overwatch, because they won't have much attack left in them if they move all of that distance. And I'm really concerned about that our friend, that sniper.
Watch out, I'm moving in.
I'm going to be really single-minded to try and recover these guys. Oh, it's 2 snipers. Yes. Unfortunately, that means this one's probably going to be murdered because they have, like, no health. Oh, and they're suicidal assholes, too. Okay, reinforcements coming in, that's fine. We may only end up with one sniper out of this at this rate. See, watch how efficient this is.
I didn't even feel that.
Rip. Rip, rip, rip. That's expensive, but only so much you can do. So now it's basically just this one guy. Could I have done more there?
Receiving. Loud and clear.
Unless I had guessed exactly right and jumped the guy forward in the first turn, not sure I could have. Can I get sight lines? No.
Moving out.
No, I cannot. What I can do, however, is claim the sniper.
What's our plan?
And the focus here is absolutely on putting these guys down as soon as possible. Once you gain control, you actually have a move. This might be an Overwatch rather than a shot. Yeah, I think this is going to be an Overwatch. This guy's welcome to try and catch us. I don't think he's an immediate problem. I think getting away from the map borders is more important.
Finger on the trigger.
I can put some rounds down, but it's probably not going to be that lethal from that distance, so we're just going to move up. Remember, we're working to that top right corner. Come on, come forward. There we go. Torso disable is good, but it's still going to get some attack down. But you can see I put my assault slightly closer in, and I'm very happy to tank the damage on my assault rather than my sniper, because you would have been a lot more hurt than you are. So,
Here.
what's going to happen in order? At this point, I can be a little bit... I can just sort of consolidate a little bit. I don't need to rush towards the exit right now. So I can put some rounds on this Triton. Oh, that was not a good volley. But that's okay. Shit happens. And you need to plan around it.
Targeting. Gotcha.
Okay, so we've got infected by virus 6. What is your will? 12. Okay. So that means he'll take 6 morale damage on his turn. Let's put some pistol rounds into him. How accurate's this? Pretty decent. Pistols are good like that. Ah, good, and we panic that guy.
Here comes the
Fantastic.
Phoenix.
So that means, panic means that they'll spend their entire turn running somewhere random.
Moving now.
They'll run somewhere random and then they'll recover some will points, but they'll never take offensive actions.
Took one down.
And that's fine by me. Whatever.
I'm on Overwatch.
There's no one there. So what I'm going to do now is just group my guys up and we're going to advance in a blob towards the top right of the map, basically. There'll be reinforcements, but as long as we maintain a defensive blob, we should be okay. If anything pops up, I'll let you know. Overall, pretty meh mission because we lost 2 of the guys because we guessed wrong as to where they would be, and they spawned in really bad positions, but we'll get 1 sniper out of it, which is okay. Back shortly. So I think we're going to get another kill here with the Tritons popped up on the way out, with some nice close range assault rifle usage. Let's go through no armor 0 location. I love point blank shooting. Let's go head first. That's not going to die automatically, so that says nice
Already
cheap
there.
ammo consumption. 1 pistol round should do it.
See you in the next life.
No reason to pay for a
Here comes the
6-round burst of
Phoenix.
assault rifle ammo
What's our
or a
move?
bunch of tier shells when a single pistol round will do the job.
Heading out.
The only thing you need to be nervous about as you work down the corners is anything going to
I'm on
spawn in a
Overwatch.
position that's going to cause you trouble.
I'm on the move. Covering.
The answer is usually probably
Heading
not, but
out.
why not be careful? Another one spawning over there, that's fine. Experience for kills is nowhere near as important in Phoenix Point as it is in some other games, so you really don't need to hang around and farm kills. Not in the traditional sense anyway. Completing lots of missions, getting out okay, moving quickly, is usually the better approach.
Channel open.
In my view. Anyway, I'm going to continue my little cautious Overwatch corner hugging run to the end. Hopefully you'll see me there in just a minute.
Do this.
Okay, I think we've made it. There are Pandorans on the map, but who cares? Mission done. Not great. Picked up a sniper. And I'm not too worried about taking some damage on GC because we're going to have to go back to base soon to get our stamina back. And when you're getting stamina back, you're also recovering health. So if you take health damage that forces you to go back to base when you wouldn't otherwise, bad. If you take health damage that you're going to go back and heal anyway, I'm not too fussed about it. So we recovered a sniper. Now, so when you pick up these soldiers that are independent, they come with independent gear. Independent gear is usually the worst variant of gear. It's usually the worst armor and an inferior version to the Phoenix version of whatever weapon you're using. So let's have a quick look at the equipment. So we have 5 rounds loaded and we have 12 rounds in reserve. Now, this is okay for the moment. The problem is you can't produce ammo for the independent weapons. So you're going to have to produce a replacement weapon eventually, or scavenge or steal. I will absolutely use this weapon because it is more efficient to use the ammo than break it down for resources and make ammo for something else. So we'll see someone use this freaking Chaitak intervention clone of the future thing. But we're going to have to manufacture him. Or is it a her? It's a her. We're going to have to manufacture her a different sniper rifle, a Phoenix sniper rifle, in order to keep her going, so that's fine. Alternatively, we just got picked up more autopsies, that's okay. One of these is going to pick up the shotgun, which is something I want to consider doing relatively soon. But we've leveled up, and now we're at 5. 5's a functional team number. I'm comfortable doing most missions with 5 soldiers, which is also conveniently the capacity of the fastest aircraft in the game, the Helios. But ideally, a full load, 6, 7, or for later missions, I like having 8 is preferable if you can. So for the moment, this extra sniper, we're not going to split into a team of 3 and 2 or anything. This is just now a team of 5. I'm going to keep exploring until our stamina is running a bit low, and then we're going to go back to base. Okay, I've finished Haven recruitment protocols. And 2 recruits are immediately available, both from New Jericho. One is a heavy, for 76 tech, 605 materials, and 264 food. You get 1 heavy. Down here, for 43 tech, or less, 346 materials, half as much, and the same amount of food, you can get a sniper, which gives you more in the early game. Now, the reason the heavy is much more expensive is because the share of the gear you get in a heavy is much more expensive. That big, heavy anvil plate and all that. But, snipers are just as, in fact, I would say much more useful in the early game. Snipers are much better early on and get a little bit better. Heavies start the game as the most useless and confused class, but with a little bit of work, you can make them the best out there. So this is really this doesn't require thinking about. We're going to pick this sniper up because troops über alles, so far as recruiting and getting yourself stronger goes, and voila, we have a team of 6. If we pick up a few more troops, then we're going to be in a position to think about grabbing another aircraft. If we don't find another one, it's going to have to be that Tiamat, at least for now, and going over to Team 2. The new sniper you pick up, this looks like a fine deal because you get all that nation's armor. So, for example, I would have liked a Sanhedrian sniper more than a New Jericho sniper because the gear is better, but I think it also costs a little bit more. But you don't have a rifle. So we're manufacturing 1 Firebird, and we're actually going to have to make 2 Firebirds. What I'm going to do so that sniper isn't useless in the meantime is I'm actually going to strip the pistol from my existing sniper, and this is just going to be a gunslinger for the moment, packing grenades and a handgun, and that's just going to be what Barry Burger, who I'm happy to rename into anyone else, is going to be doing for the immediate future. But hey, at least we've got a team of 6. We're good to go. We'll explore a little bit around here on our way back to base so that we can get our stamina back and keep exploring while I unlock the first story missions. Okay, we unlocked Phoenix Archives, which unlocks the first story mission. And unlike a lot of games where you avoid story missions because they like advance Pandoran capabilities or something, I like to get through these early story missions pretty early so we can get towards Legacy of the Ancient and get ourselves some real firepower. So, we're jumping straight into this one. Good news, we have a 6-person squad. Bad news, it could be an 8-person squad, technically, for this mission type. And also, one of our snipers is just running around with a pistol because that's literally all we can manage to find. Alright, let's analyze our situation. Triton Strangler, which is the melee Triton. Arthron, melee Arthron, melee Arthron, melee Arthron, and none of these have spits. So, all of these units are going to move towards us and try and stab us, and that's going to achieve them very little, because we're going to set up a firing line like this is the Mordian Iron Guard or something. We're just going to let them charge right at us. So I'm going to set that up, then we'll hit the... we'll pull the triggers and see who we can kill. Back shortly. I almost forgot to hit recording as I started shooting. So what I'm doing is I've moved the heavy up and put them in Overwatch because they're not going to be that accurate with targets this far away. I'm going to try and thin the horde out over on this side. I'm going to try and avoid the Triton getting in range in one turn. The Tritons are a little bit tougher, so I'm going to put them down once they're closer, and I'm actually going to get more hits.
Ready to fire.
What's your accuracy like here? Those are both obscured shots, so you are joining Comrade L Heavy.
Moving now.
In Overwatch mode, and you guys are going to watch for things that get nice and close. The Arthrons should get in that range this turn, so that'll be fine. Sniper should be able to put a round in. Yep. No. Oh well, it happens.
I missed. Going in.
Pull back. The only reason you wouldn't Overwatch in this situation is because it gives you more control over who you shoot, and you're not completely at the vagaries of the aliens. I think this is going to be for you.
They're not getting past me.
And you may as well do some long distance shooting because you've got a pistol, which means you're only going to spend 1 AP on your Overwatch anyway.
No escaping the feeling.
Like, I'm happy to replace pistol ammo. Close range Overwatch. Let's see what happens. Another one over here, that's fine. Having those extra soldiers does make me feel better here. Come on, tier. Something. One. Okay, killed one. That's fine. 2 rounds of fire to kill an Arthron's not uncommon. And the pistol shot. Nice. Clean. As clean as it can be. It helps that the aliens are now bleeding willpower as well. Some of them were getting pretty close to panic, and popping panic is useful to, if you're about to be overwhelmed, panicking all the aliens gets them on your back for a turn, which lets you kill a bunch more of them, which is always handy. Okay, targets 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is not really in melee range. This guy probably is, unless a response happens, and this is in the must-die column. Remember, the further they go, the fewer melee attacks they can make in one turn. So, killing the close ones is usually a priority. It's just about choosing where you want to put your various shots, remembering that assaults only get 2 shots if they do not move. Let's just also quickly check what is our will level. We're at about 13. We're going to subtract some more from killing. 2 probably, so we might get them down to 9. So if we could put 9 virus on someone, they'd panic. That seems unlikely. I'll do some thinking. Position. Okay, I think I'm going to open with the closest one, as I said. Now, I can't see properly through that tree, but I know the rounds are going to go through the tree, and this should be aiming at center mass. Unfortunate. So it's just going to have to be an assault rifle. Kill. Done. Okay, now this one needs to die.
Receiving. Ready
Let's
to
see
rock.
how much damage we can put in with pistols. 1,
Right on target.
2,
No escaping the
and I'm pretty
Phoenix.
sure 3 plus the sniper rifle does it on a Triton at this level.
Hostile damage.
Let's see if the ordinary one will do it. It will.
Problem solved.
Target eliminated,
Ready.
which leaves just this one.
Finger on the trigger.
Now, I think we can put a reasonable amount of damage in here.
Oh yeah.
The only question is, do we then fall back, or do we put an Overwatch in
Let's
as
show 'em
well?
what we can do.
I think we can get a kill. I think we can get a kill. 110, sorry, math. Yep, I think we can get a kill.
Lining up a shot.
I was being way too conservative. I forgot that this was the better sniper rifle, not the worst one. So that is 110, bleeding 10, regen 10. Unfortunately, the regen will keep it alive, so this is necessary, unfortunately.
Already there.
And the only question is now, does the that one... No, it's panicked.
Let's do
Great.
this.
Panicked, so it won't get a melee attack down. Please run closer to me. I want to hit you with my guns. Okay, no. So now, it's can we get sniper rounds on this guy? Mind you,
Operative on
he
the
will come
move.
charging towards us. So the better solution is probably just something like this. Plus, you never know what else is hanging around. In fact, we should probably just send someone inside, just to keep an eye on the inside. You're a 2-point Overwatch sniper,
Here
so you
comes
can
the
go all
Phoenix.
the way up.
I'm on Overwatch.
Get a view. Come run towards our gun
I
line.
got this covered.
And the heavy... Now, we don't need to sweep this entire building, we just need to get up to there. So what we're going to do is we're not going to run through the building like idiots, we're going to jump jet up there once we think it's clear.
Let's go.
But we don't yet think it's clear. So you're just going to stand between the snipers. Actually, you're going to stand just a little bit out the front.
Moving.
Just in case. Nope, he's running the heck away. Weird, but ultimately harmless.
Can't wait.
Let me. That was satisfying.
Arthrons do not have regen. He's dead in 2 turns. Great. I think
What's
in that
our move?
context...
Doing it.
Going up top is fine. Plus, we're blocking the we're doing a dog thing here. We're blocking the ladder, which means other people can't climb up while we are standing in this spot, and they can't melee attack us from this spot. So unless they have the ability to leap up, we're fine. When we're ready to clear the objective, we can just jump down there and get the journal. Everyone else can walk around real nice and slow. Just with a little bit of Overwatch, just in case. There's no spawn points on this map from memory. Nope, no reinforcements. It's a clear
I'm on
everything and get the
Overwatch.
journal sort of mission. Just in case you decide to come on a
On the
suicide
lookout.
run, my friend.
Let's do this.
And you can keep an eye on the inside.
Area covered.
Done. I don't care about you because you're about to bleed to death. Let's get the journal
Moving out.
and then run back where we came from. Now we just need to secure the retreat. Is there anything that way? Doesn't seem it.
I'm prepared.
Is there anything that way? Doesn't seem it, but doesn't hurt to look. In case you somehow survive and drop down. Reposition way out there. Because your snipers are squishy.
Let's make this
Keep the team together.
happen.
I think that's mission clear. Done. Nice, didn't take a hit. Didn't take a hit, barely a shot wasted, and shots are money in Phoenix Point. As much money as you get from just clearing more missions, so by all means spend ammo in order to save lives and clear stuff, but save it where you can. Cool, so we have added a couple of sites that are our story mission. We've got a few resources, which is good. I won't watch the cutscenes. There are a million ways you can see the cutscenes.
It was difficult not
We're being reminded that we can't refill the magazine in that sniper rifle, but that's just fine. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to check how far we are in terms of length of video. I think I'm going to do a little more exploring and then, but I probably won't do another full mission just based on how long these videos are going. I want to keep them nice and short. Ooh, Firebird's done. Okay, so sniper rifle. Great, so you now have at least a gun. Fantastic. You're better with a gun than without gun, although the pistol did relatively well in the last mission. The next Firebird should be ready relatively soon, and that's what we're going to hand off to our other sniper. Quick level ups. What have we got? Return fire is a no-brainer. And then let's go... Again, I'm going to go willpower speed, even though it cost me 1 Phoenix SP to get this soldier as mobile as possible. Assaults are about mobility, especially early on. And then we're going to get a shotgun, and life is going to be very good. GC has 37 and a bunch of cool abilities. Hard choices here with GC, actually. With Strongman and Sniperist and all that. Like, they're both really, really, like, they're pretty bloody good. 25% bonus damage on sniper rifles and the ability to use the proficiency. Huge! Same with the plus 20% and plus 2 strength. The minus 4 willpower is a much bigger drawback in my mind than 15 perception if you're, like, not overwatching. 4 willpower is expensive. Especially early on. It would mean 3 willpower, which is horrid. It means you'd never be dashing, you'd never be using abilities, but you've got a pretty high damage sniper rifle. They're both worth considering, but they're not things I'm going to take right this second, because I'd neither have a spare sniper rifle nor a spare heavy weapon, and I won't for the immediate future. So I'm probably just going to either grab another will point or another speed point, but there's no reason to do that right this second. What have we got? Recent visual, previous XR. Do we want gifts? Yeah, I want gifts. Wow. Wow. So we got a Deceptor, which is the NJ machine gun. So it looks like Anu's telling us they captured all this NJ stuff, and they captured it from NJ, and they don't want it because it's unholy in some way, which is stupid because Anu lacks a machine gun and lacks a viable assault rifle, so these would actually be really useful to them. This is handy. 2 spare assault rifles and a Deceptor means we can equip independent troops we find. We can't manufacture the ammunition, but that's a decent supply of ammunition for at least a couple of missions. The Bulldog is not like... So I've talked about this in guides before, which I really need to update for the new version once I unlock everything. I need to update that tier 1 weapons video and do a tier 2. So the new Jericho assault rifle does 40 damage and it shoots 4 times, versus your one which does 30 damage and shoots 6 times. So that's 180 damage versus 160 damage. The difference is there is very slightly more shred on the NJ rifle. Your rifle is very slightly more accurate, and the NJ rifle will do a little bit better against armored targets. Specifically, if something has 30 armor, the new Jericho rifle will actually do damage and your rifle won't, not accounting for the shred. So Against harder targets, the NJ gun is just that little bit better. We've got limited ammunition supply, so we won't use it until we've run out of our Phoenix AR ammo, but at that point what we might do is we might give one of our people the Phoenix AR and one of them the Bulldog AR to stop ourselves running out of ammunition for either before we can get new gear to replace them, which is probably going to be shotguns. Just calling it out, probably going to be shotguns, especially if I can get the resources I need. Disciples of Anu are offering, well, there's a second Tiamat here, and they're offering me an Anu assault troop for 308 materials and 38 tech and 264 food. I would be almost out of food at this point. Almost out of food, but it would get me an extra soldier. It would get me a start on Team 2. And then I'd need to find maybe 2 more, and I could split into a team of 5 and a team of 4. Do I have a gun for Queenie? I have to make actually, yes I do. I just captured a whole bunch of Bulldog assault rifles. I've got guns. I've got guns for Queenie. Food's going to be a little bit of a problem, and I'm reaching my 8-person initial limit, which means I'm going to have to activate another base soon, which means getting a lot more resources than I currently have. And I need an aircraft to put Queenie in. But Queenie's probably a cost-effective pickup. The Anu armor's not particularly good, but it is good for mobility, and the most important thing is it's cheap. I'm not paying a premium for really good kit at a time when I really just want bodies. And I have no recruits available for 3 days. Recruits are interesting because you can see what traits they're going to have when you first get them, but they come with no equipment, not even the armor, so you have to manufacture the armor for them. Unless you're me, and you're a crazy mofo, and you send them out without armor, and the cheapest, shittiest weapon you can find, just so you have bodies pulling triggers, as long as you don't get them murdered. So, in 3 days' time, we're probably going to want recruits, but I'm tempted to pick up Queenie. Okay, so let's send Queenie to Phoenix Point. Fine. Which means if we do not find, because our guys are starting to get pretty tired, if we do not find a Sanhedrian or New Jericho Haven to steal a plane from really soon, I'm taking one of these crappy airships just because it's something. It's something. More exploring. Let's see if we find something. Okay, so I got Queenie, and Queenie is fantastic. Our faith has been rewarded. So Queenie has left the clutches of the Disciples of Anu. Queenie, who I hope we can rename and restructure, has joined the Phoenix Project. To show that she has left Anu, we've given her the maximally heretical New Jericho firearm and a grenade, which are both pieces of equipment that Disciples of Anu would never use. Fantastic. But, her specials are Close Quarter Specialist, which is shotgun proficiency and melee weapons. Now, you go, sure, assaults can already use shotguns. Yeah, sure, but 20% accuracy on the shotgun is good as a general rule, and melee weapon proficiency with plus 20% damage. If you're getting into shotgun range, often you'll get into melee range, and what this lets you do is later on, if we go maximally heretical for Anu, we can give her a melee torso for 1 AP melee attacks, and she can be a dashing assault with melee, and we don't have to dual class Berserker or anything to get there, which is great. And we'll get benefits from the shotguns. The benefit from the shotgun will be increased when you realize you can get plus 10% damage and minus 10% accuracy. You can overcome the accuracy negative. In the old days, this used to be extra shotgun damage, and that was even more overpowered because you don't miss with shotguns at 0 range, so you get 0 range to take your extra damage. So Queenie is solid, and eventually, if we want to, Queenie has Sniperist. Not as good, but it's something. So good pickup for the soldier. Thankfully, the universe didn't give me exactly what I wanted, because it seldom does. We didn't find an aircraft to steal from New Jericho, or preferably Sanhedrian, because we haven't even found Sanhedrian yet. But we did find a scavenging site, which will give us a chance to steal resources. So What we're doing next episode is talking through how to run scavenging sites, and the crux is how little equipment can you get away with taking so that you have spare weight and slots in order to make the most of the mission. So, for example, if I unload, I want to unload. It's just a bit finicky. So if I get by with like one magazine of sniper ammo, so I have a little bit of weight, maybe take a little bit of strength, dump the med kits over here. Yeah, no, we don't need any of this shit. Maybe one reload, that's 6 weight. Again, done. And you don't need your med kit. Heck, you don't even need your extra ammunition. Do you need your... So that's basic thinking. How do you go in as light as possible, make it, and then how do you actually carry out the op with the best possible outcomes? Ooh, quick aim is good. Quick aim is very good for snipers. You might need your extra ammo then. Anyway, we'll talk about that next time, and then we need to decide again, is it worth settling for the crappy Arno aircraft in order to get Team B up and running as soon as possible, or do I keep searching a little while longer in the hopes of finding an aircraft that is actually useful? And if I do go to raid Arno, what I could do instead was raid the research center, which will give us a whole bunch of tech, which is valuable for trading away, because we are starting to run a little bit dry on resources with all the weapons we've had to manufacture, and we haven't even started upgrading our base yet. Again, I think upgrading the initial base too quickly is a trap. We're even going to want to find another base pretty soon and activate it, so we get an extra living quarters and extra aircraft capacity, and you can't get more than 2 aircraft capacity off a single base. Anyway, hope that was useful. We ran a couple of missions, advanced ourselves pretty quickly. We barely started the game in terms of days elapsed, but we've accomplished a lot, and it's this obsession with speed. Speed is the name of the game in early game Phoenix Point. I hope that is useful. I hope seeing a little bit of how I conduct myself in the tactical missions is useful. We've talked a little bit about recruitment and equipment. We can focus more on those issues next time. Just let me know in the comments what sort of topic you want me to talk through these videos. As I'm doing the tactical missions, I'll take that into account. Otherwise, I'll be back with more of this relatively soon, and hopefully some Dominions over the weekend when I finally get all my videos organized and cached. Thanks for watching. See you soon.